Barangaroo herself was a very strong Indigenous leader. She lived in this area. They would have used this headland to live, to eat, to cook, and they would have used their boats to go out to the island and fish and come back here and live. So it's fitting to return it as best as we can in a naturalistic sense to what it was previous. So I think one of the biggest challenges in this project was so many elements of it hadn't been done before. We had a blank canvas. It was one asphalt deck, 6.5 hectares of asphalt, which was just a rectangular shape, pretty much all the same level. This was very bespoke. It was very different. So we had to work a lot of it out on the run. What it did was it enabled us to challenge everything. It enabled us to come up with as many innovations as we could and test them thoroughly for months. So for Lend-Lease, we needed to find a partner to be sure that we got the best park for the people of Sydney and for all the tourists that would visit it. And we were very confident starting off that Aurecon would give us that and would deliver the very best and be prepared to challenge everything.
Aurecon worked on the structural engineering, the civil engineering, the geotechnical, temporary works, and assisted with the design management throughout the process.
This cultural space itself, it was a great challenge building something of this size, 75,000 cubic meter space that we're in right now, and going down 2 levels of car park space underneath.
Some of the main innovations of the project include the roof structure of the cutaway. It utilises bridge technology. Super tees that are widely used in Australia for design of bridges have been used. The girders are about 1 metre deep, spanning 30 metres. And above the space, we've got a landscape garden, so this is really a subterranean building. We designed a 19-metre high reinforced concrete retaining wall that we could use a lot of the fill without importing a lot of fill through the busy city of Sydney. So the sandstone foreshore was one of the key challenges on the project in terms of its construction.
We had to take out 10,000 blocks, some of them 15 tons, from beneath where we're sitting now, and we had to use that for a 1.4 kilometre foreshore around the park. We needed to know where each block was, what attributes there were to each block. Each block had a different height, length, width, shape. So from the moment we cut the block in the quarry under where we're standing now, we started identifying where it was going to end up.
So we used Revit in a new way. Where it's normally used in a building application, we've used it in a major civil marine application to basically tag each block or identify each block where it's going to go in a virtual world, and then that translated out to the real world in terms of putting it into the park.
So when you walk along the foreshore now, it's got that sense of belonging and like it was always there.
We had a 1920s heritage building that we had to pick up and move about 100 metres. So it was an old sewer pump station. It weighed about 110 tonnes, and to lift it, we ended up doing a dual crane lift.
We put some steel beams in there, built a frame within the brick structure, and I guess literally cradled it and picked it up from underneath.
Put it on the back of a truck, moved it to its new location, and then lifted it again and placed it on its new location.
No matter what the challenge was, we had a great sustainability outcome here. We've had 75,000 plants and shrubs. When you go through the park now, it's alive. It's like a park that was built, 10 years ago. It's not like a park that was only finished a couple of months ago.
The success of the project for me is really about collaboration. Our role was really to provide engineering solutions that underpinned what would ultimately be a naturalistic landscape within Sydney Harbour.
This project was very successful because it overcame a lot of really difficult challenges. We took the risks on all of these things that hadn't been done before. We said, we're gonna challenge it, we're gonna take it on. And we're sitting at the end and they've all been a success. And I think that's the thing that's to be most proud of.
From an engineering point of view, from my side, I love being challenged, and it's great working with somebody like Kieran, who you can work together to achieve an outstanding engineering outcome. And at the end of the project, all the engineering outcomes are buried underneath a beautiful park.
And I think that process through all of these different streams in the scope of work led to what most people would accept now is a really great outcome.